Hey, it's Paris. You know, I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This school year, let the Walmart app ace your kid's favorite subject, snack time. With Nature Valley Crunchy Granola and Danimals smoothies they'll actually wake up for. Craft Lunchables for a truly refined cafeteria palate, or Gatorade for when they take Capture the Flag a bit too seriously. Get all their on-the-go cravings delivered right to your door, just in time for that opening bell. New school year, all the snacks. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Spin, Shuffle, Skip on the There Can Only Be One podcast channel and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Every now and then, a movie comes out and the movie doesn't do so well. But the soundtrack comes out and holy crap, is it awesome. This is one of those situations because we're talking about the soundtrack to 1998's Great Expectations, a movie starring Ethan Hawke and Gwyneth Paltrow, and with one hell of a soundtrack. And here to join me for this trip, Lyle Ravishaw's on the show. Lyle, how you doing, man?
Great. I love it when we talk soundtracks because it's always a fun little mishmash of things, and this is no different.
Now, in the past, we have done soundtracks where you have not seen the movie, but I have, and I have not seen the movie, but you have. Where are we here with this one?
I have not seen Great Expectations.
I will point out, by the way, dear listeners, that this is one of those rare movies that does qualify for the podcast, but soundtrack is killer.
And the soundtrack is banger, so I was really surprised when you told me that the movie counts for the show, because if they went off of soundtrack alone, it would not be the case, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. The movie says it's 39% over Rotten Tomatoes, which is surprisingly low. The soundtrack alone should put it back up to 50.
Soundtrack deserves at least a 10% bump, at the very least.
All right, well, let's get into this soundtrack, which was released January 6th, 1998, peaked at number 25 on the Billboard 200. There was one song released as a single from the soundtrack, and that was Wishful Thinking. However, Life in Mono had appeared on Mono's EP and only major label album, Formica Blues. It hit number 28 on the U.S. Alternative Airplay charts and number 70 on the Billboard 100 when it was released by them. The album also features Tori Amos, Chris Cornell, Reef, Pulp, Duncan Sheik, Poe, Scott Weiland, The Verve Pipe, Lauren Christie, Fisher, Iggy Pop, David Garza, Grateful Dead, and Cesaria Evora. This album's a mood.
Yeah, like, damn. Like, that's just reading those names off. It's crazy the amount of talent that was on this.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that you have solo outings from both Scott Weiland and Chris Cornell, both of whom are no longer with us. Like, this album, in hindsight, is very haunting.
Yeah, it really is, for reasons that we will get into momentarily.
Indeed. But here's what we're going to do, dear listeners. We're going to pick 3 songs each, a spin, a shuffle, and skip. The spin is one we hold in high regard. The shuffle is one that no matter what, it's still pretty good. And the skip is one that's not necessarily a bad song, but may not be our most liked on the disc. Lyle, let's start with you. Your spin pick from the Great Expectations soundtrack.
It's got to be Chris Cornell. It has to be. I'm such a Soundgarden fan. I've got Bad Motorfinger on vinyl. Amazing song to put on when I've got people, or amazing album, sorry, to put on when I've got people over and you're just having a good time. Such a gone before his time case, like such a sad celebrity death, a haunting voice, just like you said. And this song is haunting, just like everything he did. An amazing song. It couldn't be anything other than Chris Cornell for me.
Oh yeah, this has to be his best solo effort song. I'm not talking about Soundgarden. I'm not talking about Audio Slave. I'm talking about his solo stuff, right? And Sun Shower is so, it fits him so perfectly. Yeah.
It's beautiful. That's the way I put it. That's what I have written down in my notes. This is just beautiful.
Yeah. Like, I mean, his cover of Nothing Compares to You is also very haunting, but I don't think it holds a candle to Sun Shower. This is pure Chris Cornell. It's also my spin pick as well. Despite the fact that this album features one of my favorite artists of all time, Tori Amos.
I figured for sure it was going to be Tori Amos. That was your spin off of default alone. It's like if something has AC/DC on it for me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Siren is a fantastic song. And keep in mind, when this soundtrack came out, it also came out the same year as Tori Amos's From the Choir Girl Hotel album. And this, to me, is like peak Tori Amos. Like there is no down Tori Amos, but holy crap, From the Choir Girl Hotel is such a strange, perfect little album that I was surprised. Had it not been for Chris Cornell, Siren would definitely be my spin pick. And that's like, I can't even bring Siren down to be my shuffle pick because it's too good for that.
It's funny because I've hit that a couple of times with this show as well, where it's like, it's almost insulting to put it as a shuffle. So call it an honorable mention, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, I take a look at the shuffle pick as being a song where it's like, well, if I have two songs on here that are absolutely spin picks, I'm not going to demote one.
Yeah, because the shuffle pick is one that you're like, yeah, I would listen to that again. But if it's up there with a spin in your head, that's not a shuffle.
No,
there's levels to this, people.
This is the problem we go through when we're prepping these episodes, right? We agonize over these decisions and sit there and go, yeah, I love this song, but is it, do I love it enough to be a spin? Do I love it too much to be a shuffle? Like it's hard.
It is.
Well, since we've both knocked our spin picks off with Chris Cornell's Sun Shower, I'm going to go with my shuffle pick. And again, I mentioned it wasn't Tori Amos's Siren, nor was it the intro Finn that she did. No, I'm going with a song, and we've talked about this before, where every now and then, you discover an artist where it's like, I had never heard this artist before, and I'm captivated by the song. Breakable by Fisher.
Wow, good. I'd heard of Fisher before this. Great song, though.
I'm curious what you've heard about Fisher.
I had heard this one. I had heard this song.
It's a great song.
I had heard this song before, specifically. Forever ago, I can't remember what it was, but I had 100% heard Fisher before Breakable.
And that's the key thing. Like when you start to, dive deep into these artists where it's like, okay, well, who are these people? So Kathy Fisher and Ron Wasserman, that's who makes up Fisher. The thing with Ron Wasserman, though, is that you've heard his stuff before because the original theme songs for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and X-Men the Animated Series comes from Ron Wasserman.
That's the thing. I knew of Ron Wasserman before, but I think I had at some point in the past with the X-Men 90 series looked into this. And it was recently, too. I believe it was around when X-Men 97 came out. I'd heard this before because I was doing the listen through for this episode. I immediately stopped and I was like, why do I know this, but don't? I was like, I know I have heard all of this before, but I can't place where. It wasn't in anything. I didn't listen to it on the radio. What the hell is this?
Yeah. But Breakable is such a haunting song and it fits the movie mood so well. The bridge on this, where the strings are really picking up. And Kathy Fisher is just like, go tell the world he's breaking your heart. And like, oh, dear God, this song is just a gut punch. But when you consider the movie, and that's the thing, you're coming into this not knowing the mood of the movie. I mean, yes, Great Expectations. It's a story that's been in the pantheon of classic literature for so long. And then you get this version of that story in film form. This song is almost tailor-made for the moment.
Yeah, very haunting. The entire album, we keep using the word, but that's what I imagine the movie is. I imagine the movie has that same kind of tone, right?
Absolutely. So over to you for your shuffle pick.
My shuffle pick's a mess for this one because there's two songs I have deleted and reinserted into my notes twice. So I'm gonna go with my gut here and say it's gonna be Success by Iggy Pop. I haven't listened to much Iggy Pop in my life. Not familiar with the brand. I've seen pictures of the performances. I know of like the musical prowess, obviously, but this is the first time in a very long time I actually sat down and listened to something, and it was really really good. So much so that it rocketed up to my shuffle. But my honorable mention slash right next to it is exactly like you had for Fisher. It's an artist I had never heard of before in a million years. Wasn't familiar with, but Slave by David Garza was a really good song. The guy only has like 5,000 listeners on Spotify, I think it is. I went and looked him up. And I'm like, wow, this is incredible. But Success edges it out by just a little bit.
Yeah, Slave's got that kind of cool reggae kind of groove to it.
Yeah, it's something totally different, but very much feels like a product of its time as well.
Yeah. I mean, I had considered Life in Mono as my shuffle pick, as well as Lady Your Roof Brings Me Down from Scott Weiland, because that's just so quirky.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's definitely one of the outliers on this.
But you're going to hate me on this one.
Oh, God.
Because Success is my skip pick.
What?
Yep.
What do you mean?
I mean, don't get me wrong. If we were doing the Train Spotting soundtrack, Iggy Pop's Lust for Life would probably be my spin pick. That song is the moment. But Success isn't the moment for me for this.
I think that's the difference right there. You've seen the movie and I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know
this
how
is Tarzan.
this fits in. Yeah, it is. It's exactly like Tarzan. You're so right.
You know, with the Tarzan soundtrack, I was going at it from the I've never seen the movie, so I'm judging it based on song alone. Same thing with City of Angels, because you were going with like the more classic bluesy tracks. And I'm like, yeah, but have you seen the movie?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's why, because it's definitely not as like, I want to say ethereal as some of the other things that are on here. And it definitely doesn't hold up to a absolute angelic Chris Cornell. Yeah. But it's definitely my shuffle pick is the Iggy Pop. And like I said, this might be like the fourth or fifth Iggy Pop song I've listened to the whole way through.
Yeah, so you have a bit to work with there if you're going through the discography of Iggy Pop. But yeah, I just don't think Success meets the moment for the movie itself.
Makes sense. It makes complete sense.
All right, so now we go to you to wrap us up with your skip pick.
My skip pick comes from a band that I've always thought has been a little bit overrated, and I've never really liked their stuff, even though it borders on country sometimes, which is one of my favorite genres out there. Uncle John's Band by Grateful Dead.
Okay.
I never understood, I guess, their play style, their style of songwriting. They're a jam band in some ways. Like, I just never got with the Grateful Dead sound. And even though I haven't seen the movie, and you say that Iggy Pop, that's what makes it just doesn't feel the same as the rest of the things on this album, I guess.
That makes sense. And yeah, again, this is a City of Angels situation where I just don't know if that's the song for the moment.
And I can feel that even though I haven't seen the movie, I guess. That's a good way to show how this is the skip pick. Because even Success with Iggy Pop, I think it still kind of fits the album is weird. It's weirdish artists and weirdish vocals all the way through. Haunting, ethereal, like we said, but they all kind of have a pattern. Iggy Pop is the outlier in the pattern, but the Grateful Dead are like way off somewhere else. They're for sure the outlier here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you're going to set the mood with artists like Tori Amos and Fisher and Chris Cornell, like, and yes, I recognize that the Scott Weiland track is a little out there for that, but the thing is, when you listen to that piano tone on Lady Your Roof Brings Me Down, that fits the vibe absolutely for some of the scenes in the film. So not every song meets the moment, and that's the kind of the situation with this. And I'm kind of with you on the Grateful Dead. I know they're one of the biggest bands of all time because of their following, but I think the only, I don't know very many songs from them. Like, yeah, Truckin', okay, right?
Truckin's all right. Sugar Magnolia is one of their massive, massive, massive ones. And again, I listen to it and it sounds like generic big band country a little bit, but not as good as some of the other big band country I know. And I understand, I get it. I think it's more of the lifestyle, and it's like their shows are apparently legendarily like the legendary parties.
Yeah.
Like you go and they last hours and they'll just stand up there and play and not sing or anything. They'll just like throw stuff together and hope for the best. I get it. If it floats your boat, sail it. It just doesn't float mine.
Yeah, they're a jam band. That's exactly what they do. But I don't know if a jam band meets this classic literature adaptation.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't feel right. Like at least Iggy Pop, you're like, okay, I see the vision. Like I understand why he's there. Like very artistic, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's like taking, some kind of, Shakespearean tragedy and building this entire mood piece and like, what do you want to put in the soundtrack? Oh, Detroit Rock City from Kiss. Throw it in there.
And now here's Charlie Daniels. Devil Went Down to Georgia. Like just what?
In Hamlet. Yeah, Devil Went Down to Denmark.
Exactly.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Like that, like Macbeth, the witches are over double, toil and trouble. All right, everybody, here's Winona Judd. Like what?
Make the most inappropriate soundtrack for a film ever. That should be a podcast right there.
That's a great idea, actually. Pick a movie and then score it the worst you could physically do it. That's a great idea.
Yeah, make the worst possible soundtrack for this film, or at least the way too obvious. Because that would be fascinating. Because there are some. I wish soundtracks were still a thing.
They're not. They've lost a lot of things. Now it's more common to see an artist be contracted to make a song for a movie instead of using one of the songs they've already made. Like all the time, every big release now, here's X pop artist here with this new, 3-minute generic fest for the new whatever movie coming out. It happens almost every single big Hollywood release now.
Yeah.
I missed when you got the disc and it was like, okay, this is what the movie feels like in a music standpoint almost. Like we don't get that anymore.
That's the thing. And you have, or more often than not in the trailer too, they're like, all right, we're going to take this song, but we're going to have like an ethereal version
Slow
of the song.
down.
Yeah.
Slow it way down, space out the verses by like 30 seconds. Like it's, you can almost time your watch by it sometimes.
Yeah. Let's take a Nirvana song, have some girl sing it, but like very ethereal.
Yeah. They did it there was a recent trailer I saw that did it for A Flock of Seagulls with Iran.
Yeah. But why?
So it's like, I ran 10 seconds of the commercial. Someone actually running. I ran so far away. Like it's, come on. Heavy handed with it.
Make a mood with your album and your soundtrack. Bring that back. And that's the thing. Help us discover these artists.
Yeah, because I have 100% found artists that I love now from movies. I've heard stuff in Shrek with Smash Mouth. I love Smash Mouth, but of course I was a kid when Shrek came out and I heard them for the first time there and I was like, these guys are awesome.
Yeah. I mean, think about it too. How many people maybe discovered a band like Queen because of Flash Gordon?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. My dad did. My dad discovered Queen and ABBA through Flash Gordon. He's told me that on several occasions. Two of his favorite bands. He discovered Queen through Flash Gordon, which was his favorite show. And then it kind of led him to ABBA from that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like we recently covered on Spin Shuffle Skip a band called Lock Up and their album Something Bitchin' This Way Comes, because it was in, two of the songs from that album were in the movie Ski School. And that's the first ever recording of Tom Morello, pre-Rage Against the Machine.
That's a crazy 7 degrees of separation I didn't know.
Oh, and you have to listen to that album. It is funktastic.
That's crazy. Tom Morello, funktastic.
Oh, yes. But before we start diatribing on that, Lyle, time to remind our listeners what your spin, shuffle, and skip picks were from the Great Expectations soundtrack.
My spin, of course, R.I.P. is Sun Shower by Chris Cornell. My shuffle is Success by Iggy Pop, but right there, like right with an asterisk next to it, is Slave by David Garza. And my skip is Uncle John's Band by the Grateful Dead. And even saying the name of that next to the other two is like, what?
All right, my spin is also Sun Shower, but I really wanted it to also be Siren for Tori Amos, but I didn't want to be Captain Obvious. My shuffle is Breakable by Fisher, and my skip is Success by Iggy Pop. Not because of the song itself, but because it just doesn't feel like it fits this moment. Lyle, thank you so much for this. Please remind our listeners what you're up to and where they can find you out there on the interwebs.
I'm a producer for the Fight Network at Anthem Sports Entertainment. So if you like your wrestling, watch TNA Wrestling every Thursday night. And if you like MMA, we've got all kinds of promotions on the program for you.
All right, dear listeners, guess what? It's that time. If there's an artist that you want us to cover on There Can Only Be One, or an album that you want us to cover on Spin Shuffle Skip, hit us up on social media at OnlyOneCast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And remember, as October rolls around, we're coming around again with Mocktober over on It's Not That Bad. God help us all. Until next time, he's Lyle, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Spin Shuffle Skip on the There Can Only Be One podcast channel and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
That's the sound of the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron and the quiet confidence of ultra-smooth handling. The elevated interior reminds you this is more than an EV. This is electric performance redefined.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac Extra Value Meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.